Welcome back, everybody, and today we're talking about artificial intelligence, or AI, and specifically, if you look at the news that came out, I was just watching, I randomly turned on CNBC, and the funny thing is, I really don't watch CNBC that much. Like, I will look at certain news articles that come across the tape or something and, use it for various sources on the internet, but I really don't watch CNBC, at all. And here we are. There's a piece of news that comes out. I'm watching TV this afternoon, just kind of relaxing, and I see this thing come across the tape. $100 billion, not million, $100 billion invested in AI. It was just the perfect timing, and so I thought I had to make a video because Nvidia is investing $100 billion into OpenAI's, data centers, their chips, whatever it is. Nvidia is the one with the chips, I guess. But they're investing $100 billion plus into, I guess, OpenAI data centers and really just trying to create this type of mania. I call it a mania because what else can you call it at this point? I mean, are we really going to sit here and act like artificial intelligence does not become extremely manic to the point of to the point of the dot-com bubble? I mean, if I start an AI company, for example, I have a good chance of probably generating zero revenue and selling the AI startup, if I know what I'm doing, to some venture capital firm that will give me several $1 million for it. I mean, that's what we're, if not hundreds of millions or billion, that's the point we're at right now. We're getting to the point where startups are being formed, and we are at this, paradigm or this paradigm shift where you're seeing not only all these massive layoffs, I mean, you're seeing a lot of layoffs, guys. I was just watching a video about, and literally what they were saying was that AI laid them off. And the HR person literally told the individual that was getting laid off, yes, this is a firm-wide decision based upon artificial intelligence. And the person just kind of sat there and shook their head. But there was like we're living in this twilight zone. We're living in this dystopia where jobs are being taken before our eyes, and yet the stock market's at record highs. Artificial intelligence continues to grow and expand, and now we have $100 billion with a B dollar investment into OpenAI by Nvidia, probably two of the largest AI-related companies out there, with the most hype around them. And, OpenAI is a private company. Maybe they go public someday. But Nvidia is a public company. And they're announcing $100 billion investment into artificial intelligence. I mean, when does this stop, And, don't get me wrong, guys. The technology's out there to create some really powerful and really cool tools. For example, daily investment advice, you can check out in the description, gives you tailored recommendations, gives you insights, and it is generated by AI. You do get AI recommendations, and we use that because it does help out with getting the information and the data at your fingertips, and you will be able to get personalized recommendations based upon your investing goals. And there are free resources that you can check out in the description below if you're interested, that will help you as an investor, that will give you insights that may cost a lot of money otherwise, and you may have a lot of expenses related to, consulting with a financial advisor or consulting with an investment professional. So it can be a good alternative. And I'm, curious what you guys think. If you check it out below, you can check out the free resources, check out an account. Like I said, we do use AI, but here's the problem with AI. I've always thought that this thing is going to get blown out of proportion. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We are entering peak mania for artificial intelligence. And I mean that. I really do. I am convinced that we are entering a phase that is far more dangerous than the dot-com bubble in terms of the spectacular collapse that we're going to see once the bubble pops, okay? Don't get me wrong. AI, I use it. It's a helpful tool. But keep in mind, this has only been the last couple of years. Remember 1992, for those of you guys who were around then? What was it like back then when they were just starting to hype the internet? And they were just saying, and I look for reference, I was born in 95. So when I was 5 years old, the peak of the dot-com bubble was busting. Now we're in 2025. Doesn't this seem very familiar? I mean, doesn't this remind you of the internet bubble that happened? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Why are we investing $100 billion into data centers? And, I was watching some content of, it was an Amazon data center that was stealing water. Like, just imagine like a company coming in, taking over your community, taking over all your natural resources, draining your lakes, draining everything because of AI. And I'm not even kidding, guys. This is on the channel More Perfect Union. You can check it out. They're draining the water supply, and their mindset or their rationale is AI. That's the rationale. We have to build a massive data center in this rural community in Indiana. That's where it was, Indiana. And we have to build this data center because of AI, because of the fact that if we don't do this, then China is going to catch up, then other companies will catch up, and we'll be behind. Now, this is Amazon. Amazon's a highly profitable company. Nvidia, okay, is a massive company, and they're investing $100 billion into another massive company. And like, for the people who actually are able to benefit from this, we're at a record stock market, record gold prices, record everything. But what about those who are being left behind? That's my question. Like, for the everyday investor, for the individual who is trying to get, insights and recommendations that can help them, like they just want to, build a portfolio, but they feel like they're being swept away by this technology because it's moving too fast. Like, when does this stop? When does this end? Like, how much longer can this continue? Because I can guarantee you guys that in 5 years or 10 years, we're going to be looking at a spectacular collapse of artificial intelligence. And what I mean by that is not like the technology itself will collapse, but the actual, like the investment. Like, how the internet's around today, but it took a longer time than people expected. It took a longer time because the technology was in its infancy and people got overhyped about it and people went crazy investing money. That's where we're at right now. This is like 1995, This is like the dot-com bubble all over again. And you're talking $100 billion with a B? I mean, come on. It's ridiculous, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's where we've gotten. And everybody's going to tell you who's at the top, who's in these companies, it's not just a fad. It's not just hype. It is revolutionary technology. And we're going to make so much money and we're going to help out so many people with AI. We're going to solve every cure, every disease. We're going to end every war with AI. There's going to be peace on earth, right? Like, there won't be peace on earth till Jesus returns, first of all. Second of all, this is just getting absolutely crazy. It's to the point now where I'm just laughing at the fact that we're investing $100 billion into artificial intelligence data centers, and we act like it's nothing, just $100 billion. Yeah, we're just going to build more data centers across the nation here because that's what everybody needs is more data centers. That's what we need as a country. While thousands or hundreds of thousands of people are being laid off, while, there's a lot of pain out there in the real economy. When I say the real economy, I'm not talking about the inflated valuations on Wall Street. I'm talking about people who may have less than $1,000 in an emergency fund and they're being laid off. Okay, that's who I'm talking about here. So for all of you guys who are saying, we just need to keep on pressing forward with AI, it's going to happen regardless. But the problem is you're leaving a lot of people behind. So what's the solution to mass homelessness, mass crime? What are you going to do when that starts seeping over into your community because people can't find work? I don't know. I mean, is that what we're coming to? While you invest $100 billion into AI and the top 5% or the top 1% benefits tremendously from this? I'm sorry, but like at a certain point, it kind of starts to piss you off a little bit. And like I said, these tools are out here to help people, and I'm using these tools myself, but the greed, the amount of greed, there's two emotions in the stock market, and right now we're entering a phase of mass greed. We are. I mean, this is like 1995 all over again. we are entering a period of mass greed, and this could just be getting started. And like I said, there's opportunity. I'm all about opportunity. I'm all about, capitalism, but there has to be a balance. Like, remember the robber barons back in the early 1900s, unchecked greed, and how that worked out. We had to have regulations because of the fact that these robber barons were just doing whatever they wanted because they had the levers, they had the power, and that's unfortunately human nature. And so, like, we have to really consider these things as we move forward as a society, because this could get very dangerous. There's opportunity, but this could get very, very dangerous very quickly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm curious what you guys think, because, $100 billion, I was quite shocked when I saw that number. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.